when you are looking at where you are, we tend to have the feeling that, especially when you start to understand a lot of universal laws and spirituality, and you meditate or do different of these wonderful tools, there's a tendency to want to constantly ease the pain, feel good, get rid of the fears. And this is a great thing in order to get you to move into your actions, to go through your day. But what happens is that, and this is what I'm starting to really see, is what I think is that we're becoming spiritually anesthetized.
Come on. I'm sorry.
Because anesthetized, like when you go into surgery and they give you anesthesia and they knock you out, so you can't feel anything, numb. Yeah. And because these fears, these challenges, they're there for a reason. Okay, they're a doorway for us to step into that next level. What is outside our comfort zone? Pretty much everything we want, right? I mean, we've got stuff in our life we want. I'm very happy with Chris. I'm not trading him in. But that's why it's called a comfort zone. Like when you get out of it, it doesn't feel comfortable at first. Okay, but I'm not kidding you, just all day, every day, I encounter people who I just don't want to have to worry. I want more money than I can handle, so I don't have to worry about the bills. And of course, that's what we all want, and the reason we want it is because that's who we truly are, and we know that within. The problem is that there's something we have to let go. There's something we're not stepping into being. There's a situation in our life that we're allowing to take our power. We're giving it away in some way. There's all this stuff happening, and if we're constantly just, like when I was going through my divorce, I had to ease the pain, okay? It was too much. I couldn't take it. But, so there's a place for that. But I want you to start to look at the fears, the pains, and the challenges as your allies, your guardians, and your gifts. Because that's how you're going to really know where you are. And one of the first things she told me was, 6 months ago I took a Reiki course. Is everybody familiar with what Reiki is?
Yes.
Okay. And she said, and basically it was apparently presented to her that if you learn this technique, you can use this on yourself and your money and your finances and your life, and all your problems will go away. And she was completely confused. She had no idea. I took it. I practiced it every day. Nothing's changed. What's with that? Right? And I hear this a lot too. I've done this, I've done that, I've learned this, I've learned that. I tap, I write, I affirm, I la 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 la, I got my vision boards everywhere. What the hell? Right? Where's my stuff? We're in complete self-improvement overload happening. And if there's so much good information out there, it's not, some of the stuff I don't agree with, but in general, it's not that there's anything wrong with the information. But we take all that information in, but we have these internal barriers and blocks to using it, right? So she was very, very confused. She just said, I did everything they said, and it's not working. So we had to talk about that. Of money and not being able to manage it and own her power with money. And she didn't understand where it was coming from. So she went through that, and then she did the hypnosis call, the free hypnosis call I did, and she called me up and she said, I don't even know how to describe what happened. She spontaneously went to a past life, and whether you believe in them or not, in mass conscious or whatever, but she went into a space where she remembered being a very wealthy woman. And in olden times, that usually meant you owned a lot of land, right? And very well educated. And she was imprisoned for a very, very long time. Her family and the government, the local government, were involved in it because they wanted her land. And as many of you probably know from history, intelligent, wealthy women were not particularly fond, people were not particularly fond of that in a lot of different eras. And eventually, she had her head chopped off. And she experienced all this in the hypnosis so vividly that she was just like, just spontaneously. And what happened from this was massive amounts of realization started to come to her about why she was setting her life up this way. because she literally got down like, oh, this and that and this. And she said, basically, money means killing. Deep inside of her, money means killing. Whether it's her or somebody else, but that's what it equated to. So now can you see how she had no idea where she was her whole life? She had no idea why she was afraid of money, why she was setting these things up, why she couldn't take her power. Here's the other thing that was going on for her. She's an award-winning pharmacist, and she hasn't had a raise in 10 years, and she's applied for, a dozen jobs in the last 8 months and not gotten any of them.
Wow.
And I told her this when we first talked. I said, you're never going to get one of those jobs till you clear this stuff up. Because what would that mean? That means more money would come into her life, then she would be more afraid of it, and she wouldn't want to handle it, and so on and so forth, okay? So that's just one example to kind of tell you about how we really don't know where we are. And that's one of the reasons that I like to do this work, is to help you get an idea of what's really going on, why you're repeating patterns, why money comes and then it doesn't, why you can't speak up in your relationships or whatever. Because it's not that you're stupid, you're not good enough, you're whatever you were told or heard or whatever. It's none of that, okay? So for this work and this weekend, and hopefully for the rest of your life, I want you to start right now and make the agreement that you're going to start to see yourself and do whatever you need to do to keep bringing that belief back into your awareness that you are a divine being on a fully funded mission, meaning you're here, you have specific reasons why you're here, everything you need to accomplish, achieve, do whatever it is you want is already either within you or will be provided for you. Okay, now I don't know about you, but I wasn't raised that way. I was told, you can't have what you want. You don't deserve this. There's something wrong with you. Stop being that way. You're too this, you're too that, you're too happy, you're too spontaneous, you're too outgoing, you're too loud, you're too... Anybody else in here been told that? You're too happy? Anybody else? You're too happy? Doesn't that piss people off when you're happy? Man, they get pissed off. And when you get what you want and you enjoy it, they really hate that one. Yes, I still...